Sarah Rosetta Wakeman was born to Harvey and Emily Wakeman on January 16, 1843, and was the eldest of 9 children. She lived in Bainbridge in Chenango County, New York. She worked on the family farm until the age of 19, receiving intermittent schooling before finding employment as a domestic, which meant living in an employer's home and attending to domestic chores such as cooking, cleaning, and laundry. Her father incurred some debt, which Sarah felt her small pay as a domestic was not enough to help with. With no apparent prospects for marriage, Sarah chose to don trousers and find work on a coal barge on the Chenango Canal. Not long after her first voyage, recruiters from the 153rd New York Infantry would cross her path. On August 30th, 1862, Sarah enlisted as Private Lyons Wakeman for a $152 sign-on bonus and a promise of $13 a month for pay. She and her regiment departed for Washington, D.C. on October 17, 1862. The 153rd served provost and guard duty in Alexandria, Virginia, and on Capitol Hill. While in Washington, D.C., Sarah witnessed the completion of the Capitol Dome and saw the Goddess of Liberty completed and placed in position upon the Capitol, and heard the thunder of 100 guns as they belched forth their welcome from the surrounding fortifications. During this time, Sarah wrote home to her family that she was very happy as a soldier, and ready to fight, saying, "I am perfectly happy. If I go into a battle, I shall be all right. It is what I have wished for a good while. For my part, I don't care where we go to. I don't fear the rebel bullets, nor I don't fear the cannon. I have to go on guard duty every other day and drill the day that I am not on guard. I like to drill first rate." While on guard duty, Sarah even guarded 3 women prisoners of war, 2 Confederate spies, and 1 woman who was a major in the Union Army, and went into battle with her men when the rebel bullets was a-comin' like a hailstorm. She rode her horse and gave orders to the men. Now she is in prison for not doing accordingly to the regulation of war. In February of 1864, the 153rd New York was transferred to the command of Major General Nathaniel Brooks and sent into Louisiana, setting out in March as part of the doomed Red River Campaign. Lieutenant George H. Hodges of the 153rd New York wrote, "No tongue can tell nor pen indite the hardships endured on that march of over 700 miles through an enemy's country, where with a scarcity of water any slough was sought for with eagerness, and though animals partly decomposed and reeking with then millions of parasites were floating upon its surface, the regiment was obliged to drink its water to allay thirst caused by that southern sun. Bad water, bad army diet, and almost 700 miles of hard marching and fighting took a heavy toll on the troops, who, one veteran claimed, sickened and died by the thousands." On April 9, 1864, the 153rd New York was engaged in combat at Pleasant Hill, Louisiana. Though the regiment repulsed the advancing Confederates several times, they were ultimately forced to retreat, fighting another engagement at Monet's Bluff on the 23rd of April before finally reaching safety at Alexandria, Louisiana in early May. Unfortunately, on May 3rd, Wakeman reported to the regimental hospital suffering chronic diarrhea. On the 22nd of May, she arrived at a hospital in New Orleans after a long transfer overland, but her condition continued to deteriorate until she died on June 19, 1864, her age listed as 21, and her disguise as a man still intact. She was buried as Private Lyons Wakeman at Chalmette National Cemetery near New Orleans, Louisiana. In 1976, letters and records were discovered in a family attic, and in 1994, Lauren Burgess published these as the book An Uncommon Soldier, The Civil War Letters of Sarah Rosetta Wakeman, alias Private Lyons Wakeman.